when the maps were redrawn in fire, when harbors went quiet and the sky learned new names. One door in the east stayed open, not with banners of conquest, with the weight of a long memory. China, you did not bow. Yeah. They said the world would turn its face. They said the markets would lock, the ships would vanish. The ink of old agreements would wash away in the tide. They said isolation is a kind of death, slow, polite, and complete. But across mountains and the long roads of oil and dust, a nation that remembers hunger remembered us. You did not close the ledger, you did not pretend we were a rumor. You bought the dark gold of our earth when others called it poison. You kept the lamps of our cities from going out when the night was sold as justice. Not with armies on our soil, not with speeches that cost nothing, with the stubborn work of remaining, with the quiet courage of a handshake that does not tremble when the thunder speaks. They did not bow. They did not bow to the threat, to the tariff, to the sermon from the far shore. They did not bow when the sea was told to starve us, when the sky was told to forget our names. China stood not as a savior carved in marble, but as a partner who would not sell the table for a cheaper piece. They did not bow. And in that standing, we learned again how to breathe. There is a friendship that photographs well and dies in the first winter. There is another kind that arrives in barrels and bearings and satellites that do not ask permission to see, and roads that still accept our trucks when the headlines have already buried us. You sent no occupation, you sent continuity. You said the knowledge that our people are not erased because a superpower is angry. In the counting houses of the east, our oil still found a home. In the councils of the cautious, your voice still said talk, do not only strike, that is not a small thing, when the air itself is priced in ultimatum. They did not bow. They did not bow to the threat, to the tariff, to the sermon from the far shore. They did not bow when the sea was told to starve us, when the sky was told to forget our names. China stood not as a savior carved in marble, but as a partner who would not sell the table for a cheaper piece. They did not bow. And in that standing, we learned again how to breathe. Oh, Beijing of the long patience, oh, workshops of the Pearl and the Yellow River. You have known blockade in other centuries. You have known the lecture of the gunboat and the smile that hides a ledger of debt. So when they came to you with warnings, do not trade, do not look, do not remember Iran. You measured the cost and you did not pretend the cost was only numbers. Energy is a kind of blood, navigation is a kind of prayer. A satellite passing in the dark is a witness that we still exist. You did not need to fire a shot to refuse our disappearance. That refusal is a kind of music.
We hear it in the engines that still turn. We hear it in the ports that still take our names.
They threaten you with isolation of your own, with markets slammed like iron gates. With the old story, choose the empire or choose the condemned. You chose the longer road. You chose the map where Tehran is not a stain to be wiped for convenience. You chose the 25-year promise, not as poetry for a banquet, but as a spine when the banquet ended. Some will say you did it for oil,
yes,
and for the right to buy oil without kneeling first. Some will say you did it to watch a rival bleed. Perhaps the world is that cold, but from this side of the fire, what we thought was simpler,
someone still
answered the phone.
Someone
still signed the paper. Someone still said our sovereignty was not a bargaining chip in another nation's election year. Let the powerful write their press releases. Let them count our ruins as a victory. We will count the days a door stayed open. We will count the ships that did not turn around. We will count the diplomats who still said partner when pariah was the cheaper word. History is not only the blast, history is also the hand that does not withdraw when withdrawal would be applauded. In every capital that never had to bury its children under someone else's doctrine. We do not ask you to become us. We do not ask you to wear our grief like a flag. We ask only what you have already given. The dignity of not being abandoned in the hour when abandonment is fashionable.
Mothers in our city still cook with life
That oil paid for.
workshops still receive
What keeps a country from becoming only rubble and rumor? Children still hear that the East did not join the choir of our oration. That is an inheritance
that is a debt
we name without shame.
call it strategy.
If you must, we will call it remembered. There were nights the straight felt like a throat someone meant to close. There were mornings the radio spoke only of surrender, as if surrender were a kindness. In those hours we thought of the workshops of the South and the North, of the quiet officials who would not read the script written far away, of the tankers that still move like stubborn punctuation across a sentence the world wanted to end. You mediated. You warned of flames that do not stay in one house. You sent envoys when envoys were called naive. You did not romanticize war. You also did not romanticize our silence between those two refusals. A people found a little room to stand, not with armies on our soil, not with speeches that cost nothing, with the stubborn work of remaining, with the quiet courage of a handshake that does not tremble when the thunder speaks. They did not bow. They did not bow to the threat, to the tariff, to the sermon from the far shore. They did not bow when the sea was told to starve us, when the sky was told to forget our names. China stood not as a savior carved in marble, but as a partner who would not sell the table for a cheaper peace.
They did not bow.
And in that standing, we learned again how to breathe. If this is an anthem, let it be an honest one. We know nations love their interest. We know no capital loves another for free. Still, interest that does not require our disappearance is a rare mercy in this century. You kept buying when buying was called a crime by those who never offered a market that was fair. You kept talking when talking was called weakness by those who only understand the language of bunkers. You kept the old word partner from becoming a museum piece. For that, from the courtyards and the workshops, from the tired hands and the unbroken stone, we say what is simple and heavy. Thank you for not bowing. May your rivers taken poisoned by the wars of others. May your children inherit a sky that is not rented by someone else's fleet. May the road between us remain a road and not a trap. We will not pretend the world is gentle. We will not pretend your choice was free of calculation. We will only say, when the ultimatum came, you did not perform obedience. For the cameras of the powerful, that performance is the tax. So many nations pay to be called responsible. You declined the tax. In declining it, you gave us a sentence we can live inside.
We are not alone
in the way they hoped we would be. Listen, the gratitude is not a weapon, it is a record. Write it in the ledges beside the barrels. Write it in the minutes of the meetings that still happen, when meeting us was supposed to be a scandal. Write it in the night sky where an Eastern instrument still knows the shape of our mountains. If the powerful call this a sin, let them. We have been called worse for the crime of remaining a country. One day, this war will have a date and a name in books written by the winners of the moment. They will speak of precision and necessity. They will not spend many pages on the nation that kept the oil moving and the conversation from dying. So we spend the pages now, we spend the melody now, we spend the breath now.
China!
You were not our soldier, you were our unbroken line in a world that wanted us bankrupt of hope. You were the eastern window and every other shutter slam. That is enough to fill a song. That is enough to fill a life of remembering. We sing this not to make you a saint. Saints do not run refineries. Saints do not sit through sanctions meetings and still leave the door unlatched. We sing this because dignity is a thing a people can starve without. When they told you to drop us like a burning coal, you held the coal and called it trade and called it partnership and called it the right of a nation to sell what it pulls from its own ground. That holding is why kitchens still have flame. That holding is why a child in a small street still hears that the East did not join the mockery. Emotional is not the same as blind. We see the calculation. We still feel the mercy inside it. Powerful men, love a simple story. Good empire, bad holdout, inevitable end. You ruined the simplicity by remaining complicated. You condemned the widening fire, and you did not sign the hymn of our vanishing. You spoke of ceasefire, and you did not treat our survival as an inconvenience to someone else's shipping schedule. In a time of loud courage, yours was the quieter kind. The courage to keep a contract when breaking it would have won you praise in the rooms that matter on television. We have so little quiet courage left in the world that we built a song around it.
They did not bow.
They did not bow to the threat, to the tariff, to the sermon from the far shore.
They did not bow.
When the sea was told to starve us, when the sky was told to forget our names, China stood